Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, and we would be looking everything specifically related to the currencies only, and we would be also discussing that how different kind of datas are coming and that would be impacting the market, and this would be one of the most important stream that you can ever see before leading towards these NFP stuff that is on the Friday. So today we are on the Thursday. So specifically at 7 a.m., that is a New York time, and that is the Eastern Standard Time, we see that there is a pound uh, monetary policy report is coming, and monetary policy actually deals with the Bank of England specifically. It also regards with the inflation, and it also regards with the money printing and all the interest rates and everything. It's just like a compilation of everything. And then this report is coming of the Bank of England, and then there's a policy summary that will be coming. There is also MPC official bank rates votes. We will look into that. And then there is the official bank rates. So it is really important to understand that the interest rates that were specifically provided by the Bank of England was 4.78, and there are chances to reduce that. And we have seen the reduction happening in previous times in different currencies out there. So now it's the pound that which they are actually doing it, and we actually saw, I think, in dollar as well. So we need to actually see that this is the statement which actually shows that how the voting is occurred. The vote is reported in an XXX format. The first number is of how many MPC members vote to increase the interest rate, and second is how many votes to decrease the interest rate, and the third is how many voted to hold the rate. So the first one is that actually shows that it's really interesting to see that an extra learning that the first one actually shows that the increase in the interest rate. The second one right here, which I'm highlighting up here in the cursor, that shows that how many votes for the decrease in the rates, and third is to hold uh, the rates as the constant one. So the Bank of England MPC meeting minutes contains the interest rate vote for each of the MPC member during the most recent meeting. The breakdown of the vote provide the insight into which member are changing their stance on the interest rates and how close the committee is intacting a rate change in the future, right? So this is how the things are occur, and we see there are 9 votes, and let's see how the things react. So more hawkish than expected is good for the currency, and of course, like we have been discussing that whenever the interest rates are good, it's good for the currency. And secondly, this is the report specifically for the monetary policy, that is projection for the inflation and economic growth over the next 2 years. And Bank of Governor England governor also holds the press conference, and he releases and provides a valuable insight of the economic conditions and inflation. So you can imagine the importance, like how crazy the pound gonna get. And secondly, we do have like a monetary policy summary right here. So it is a primary tool the MPC uses to communicate with the investor about the monetary policies, contains the outcome of their votes on the interest rate and other policy measures, along with the commentary about the economic conditions that influence their votes, and most importantly, discuss the economic outlook and offer clues of the outcome of the future votes. So, guys, this is like a whole package that is coming out here, and it is happening at 7 a.m. I'm super excited for it, and of course, like I understand it is really early for me to wake up at 7 a.m. So it means it's 7, so I need to be on my computer around like 6:15 or something like that. So kind of like a tough journey tomorrow. And we do have an unemployment claims that are on the United States. We have been discussing that the number of the individual who filed for the unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. And the thing is that the less are good. So it means that the less people have filed for the claims, and there are, it is a general lagging indicator for the number of unemployment people, and is important signal for the economic health, and specifically related to the labor market. And And unemployment is also major consideration for steering the country's monetary policy. So later on, we do have like the PMI that is coming for the CAD. So PMI is actually dealing with the purchasing managers. We discussed it yesterday as well, and above 50 indicates the industry expansion, and below shows the contraction. And then there is an FOMC member speaks, and then at 4:05 p.m. the Bank of England governor speaks that it is like really important that during the speeches the volatility is like to the peak, and sometimes things can get really out of hand, so we have to be like super careful about trading all that. So guys, specifically on Thursday, we do have like a good data coming around like 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and even like which can lead towards like 4 o'clock. So I would be suggesting around like working around like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to around about like 12 p.m. That would be a good opportunity zone. It's a 6 hour zone around here, and the things can be really good, and we can get a good volatility, because as a trader we do need a volatility out here rather than like a range formation. So yesterday's stream was like really long, and we have been discussing this structure uh, into the clarity that how things are specifically looking. So right here, what we can actually see is that prices are unable to reach to this high. Instead, they kind of like rejected around this point. Formation of the full breakout of the structure didn't occur. So this is what we actually see, and the prices actually came back down there, pushed back up, and went down further and reaching to this point. So we have been looking at this level continuously, and the thing is that I kind of like mentioned you that this level is really important because it's a round number. It's like exactly 107,500, and there are the certain reactions that are found on the round numbers as well. So I was keenly interested into this level also. So this is the structure that we are looking at, and currently the structure is in the downtrend, but we need a proper swing, maybe around here or maybe around here, that can actually like further continue the price on the downside. Yeah, so the thing is really clear and simple right now. We can't have much of the predictions on it, although like we can jump into the 1 hour time frame to see that what the scenarios actually look like. So it's really important to see that there is a small channel right here, and let's see that price might give certain kind of reaction around this point because it aligns with this structure as well. So on the further hand, like this was the opening price, and this is a closing price right here. So we do have a gap in here that has been like filled all around. We did have a gap around here that is also filled. So right now, the DXY is on the move, although we have like a small peak formation at the bottom right, peak formation low at the bottom right here, which is trying to push the prices on the upper side, and we can see exactly that it is going on the upper side. We might get a reaction around like certain levels around here, but we need to wait for the proper structure, because right now it's like immature structure, and we need to like wait for the price action to unfold itself. So let's move to the next pair. Let's move to the USD CAD right here. The similar structure to the DXY, which we actually see is right here. So the price was in the range, and price was in the range. It was a big range, huge range, guys, and we have been like discussing every part of it, every move of it. So if we see till right here, it was around like 32 days range, and you can imagine that how difficult it would have been for the traders who are looking at this structure. So after that, what ended up happening, that price kind of like took the liquidity above here, and price also took the liquidity below there, and both of the liquidities were taken. So people who were like who were here like shorting around this point got stopped out, and similarly people who were buying here, or people who were like buying around these levels, got stopped out, and shorting here also got stopped out. So it is kind of like a complicated structure, like whenever there's an intense data that are coming out, things can get really messed up. So we have to be super careful about that too. And what ended up happening, that prices started going on the upper side, and here we can actually see that this is the opening price, this is the closing price right here, and uh, then this is the opening price. So this was the gap actually that developed all of the sudden after the weekend. So on Monday we kind of like saw a big bump, and after that prices started coming down. We do have this zone as well, and this zone is really important right here. And what I want to do is kind of like mark that zone either, because the thing is that it would be the first touch out here, and we need to be like aware about what's up, that what's going to happen further. So we can actually look into that later on. And if we kind of quickly jump into the 1 hour structure, we do have certain kind of reaction points around here. Let me see. So this is the kind of reaction points. It would be more valid if we get a reaction around this point, if the price pushes on the upper side and we start getting a reaction around it. But here we can see certain kind of reaction as well, but this would be the more prominent one as an extension of the move. So let's see how things actually runs. And in this case, I want to remove this, guys, because it's kind of like in the way. I feel that that is more solid in the reaction if the things occur. Overall, the CAD structure has been like really bullish. Let me show you guys that you see even the charts can't go back. So let's go into the daily. This is the kind of the structure we are looking at. It is like quite complicated. If we go into the weekly, that can make more sense to you guys. So this is the kind of structure which we are looking at. It's like quite extended structure right now. And on the weekly time frame, I've marked this high because uh, there are like certain indications that the prices can stop around this point, and the way which we got the reaction around this level, we can bring the level around on the low point as well. But for now onwards, things seems to be looking clear, and we can actually look into this small zone right now. So this is a kind of a simple structure out here that we are looking at. So similar structure to the DXY, that let's see that if how the dollar actually presses on the upper side, and we can get a reaction around here. So how the prices would be reacting around this point, we need to figure it out later on when the things happen. But overall in the short term time frame right here, we do see this 3 bar play right here, price pushed up, pulled down, and continuing on the upper side. We can see like this can also be considered as like a small head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulder here, that kind of like represents a reversal pattern to push the prices on the upper side. So there are certain kind of like good indications out here that can show that the prices can go on the upper side, but not for the setup, but for analysis. Moving quickly to the USD CHF, we have been like continuously like discussing this, and right here, like the idea for the CHF was kind of like turning into the bearish structure. So this was kind of like a bullish structure that went on the upper side. Similar structure, prices unable to form the highs, got rejected around here. And similarly, there was like a certain rejection points that prices went down, came back here, stopped here. So it's kind of like a early stop that we can actually see. There was a reaction point around this point as well. So in that case, guys, I want to look at the daily right now. That it's like if this daily kind of like close in the bullish format right here after the closing of the Thursday, Thursday close, we can actually like see that this would be the first green candle that would be developing from down there, and kind of like a good structure formation in that sense. Although if we look although it looks like that there are certain points which I've highlighted, this is like right here, if the price is kind of like show us some kind of reaction and breaking further up there, and then moving up there, a certain kind of like a range formation further can give us a move on the downside further, and this could be the target. Then we can use this data, this price data as our first target as well. So I would be placing my lows right here so that it could be like a better clue, because you see right here the way this price is pushing on the upper side is really clear. So moving further to USD GPY. So eventually, like the USD GPY has been like in a range structure right here. This was our structure. Then the prices broke on the downside, and there was like certain pattern around like this order block. There were like prices pushing on the upper side, failing, then pushed on the upper side, went down, and then went down there. And this is really important thing that I want to like mention, that this was the order block right here, and we started getting a good reaction around this point, and prices then further broke on the downside after like one touch, two touch, and third failed test that happened and made the prices to push on the downside. Just a sec, guys. So this is the simple scenario that we are looking at, but there's really important that we discussed yesterday as well. You see the reaction happened around this order block, right? And after that, this order block also came into the function right here. I want to I want to show you guys. So this was the order block right here that we saw the reaction, and then on this order block we showed that we had the reaction. Although this reaction was difficult to even understand, because usually when this kind of move happen, this cell structure that actually develops around here with this candle, usually it breaks down and then pushes back up. But we got the reaction on the third time, right? One touch, two touch, and then third time the prices failed and pushed on the downside. Usually like we are seeing that in the on the on the two touches, but this makes it really valid, really important. So there are the two scenarios right now. By the way, we also got a reaction around this point. So it's there are like certain types of like FTR levels and these lows or highs that kind of like give us the reaction and can help us to get into the trade to form that is in the continuation right here. So what are our expectations currently? Like this is the low that is being formed up here, and there are like certain things that can like give us the classical pattern that prices can reach up to this point and kind of like reject back around here, or we can get a reaction around this point up till this level and then on the bottom level. Although on the 4 hour structure right here, we can see that this is the formation, but on the daily this formation is not clear because it's kind of like a running candle. I don't want to like pursue this in a sense that I don't consider this as a low right now. There is a high potential that price can go on the bottom on the downside. So right now we actually have to wait, specifically understanding this setup. But if there are certain kind of changes, price reaching to this certain levels can help us to understand that what is actually happening. So most probably like the things would be happening around NFP when it comes to like USD pairs. Euro USD. We started looking at Euro USD from the top, and we see like prices coming back, creating certain kind of swings, reaching to this level, creating this swing around here, and after that breaking these structures around here. Price went up, created a double bottom, went down around here, and then prices started Now things like it's really important for us to like get deep into it right now. So this is kind of the structure that kind of like started shifting on the upper side. So we started forming the lower lows and lower high and higher lows and higher lower highs, and you can see that here the price actually failed specifically to break on the upper side. Otherwise it would have gone like that in the continuation of the channel right here, but it kind of like failed after that, and then we saw a reaction on the downside. Price went down, went up, price went down, and here we see this is the closing price, and this is the opening price. So this is kind of the gap actually we can encounter here, and the way the prices filled up the gap, prices went up, pushed back, and now they're still pulling back. So what's in for us here? So that's really kind of like an important deal. So right now, like you see the structure is kind of like in the downtrend. Number one thing that which we actually analyzed, and after that price is pushing on the upper side. So this is kind of like the first structure that is being formed up here, that is more legit on the bullish side, rather than like taking this channel around here and considering this channel that broke down, and after that this is the first time the price kind of like reached to this point. So I don't believe like there is, if the prices would have been like in an uptrend like that continuously and prices went down and then failed to break on the upper side, I would have considered this as more valid setup rather than like this, because prices hasn't even like tried to push on the upper side to create a proper swing. So in that case, although like this is the point, like some of the people can say that or think like that, that this is the failed pattern, that price kind of like couldn't push on the upper side. But currently like that is not the real swing that which I currently would uh, go with. That I would be like, if there is something happening around here with this kind of swing up here, I would be considering that rather than like this, because it is already in the downtrend that has begun, and after the downtrend we couldn't like even find like a proper swings around here. So this is what I believe, that this is kind of like the move. We have to like understand it and re-estimate it. If the price come back down and unable to like break this point and started forming a move on the downside, then we can actually expect the further move towards this bottom. On the other hand, we need to actually see that uh, whenever like this kind of structure develops, then we can actually understand that how the things would be looking in Euro USD. So Euro GBP has been like we have been discussing that too, guys. Like if you've been following here, that this was the range, there was a breakout that happened. Price continuously pushed on the upper side, and when price was pushing on the upper side, I was just like continuously mentioning you guys that uh, the when this channel formed, this channel kind of like converted into the range. So this was the channel that formed, and that further converted into the range. That shows the strength of these bearish bullish bullish market players was getting a bit reduced, and then we got a reaction around this point. Price pushed back exactly to this low, and then price started pushing on the downside, and then prices went down there. So as the prices reached to down there, guys, so there was an order block right here, which we can see that kind of like triggered this move. So prices exactly came back into the order block, and I kind of like tried to place some longs around here, but kind of like got out on the break even. So right now we are looking at this range. My alert is right here. If there is a certain kind of move on the upper side and prices push on the upper side, failing to break this high, then it can give us a potential opportunity towards the downside, further continuing this kind of like structure in that way. So this is a general preview that I actually like can think of right now. So right now it's not a trading zone. So Euro AUD has been good till this point, but after that we don't have any kind of like proper structure. So prices went down. Prices, this was the high, this was the low. Prices was unable to will continue this trend around here and kind of like give us a sell structure around here. So what ended up happening, that prices like started forming a channel right here, broke this channel. This was a good move. That was a good trade right here. That prices went down when kind of like prices kind of like reached this order block. Prices went down. This is a good trade, guys. These are the kind of trades that we actually are hunting out here. And I do remember like saying that when I started like working specifically in this forex market, I kind of like started saying that this market is just like a jungle, and we need to kind of like search for the food for the survival, and it's the same thing, guys. So these are the setups that we need to actually memorize. We need to actually learn, and it happens with a lot of like experience, either by like forward testing or back testing, and that's how we kind of like learn this. So this is a kind of the trade that we actually hunt for. So anyway, guys, so price came back down, went up, pushed up, and came back down. Couldn't break this low. Really important. And as the price couldn't break this low, we could have like I kind of like took this trade around here, locked in my profits around this point, because it was like a good three candles, and then usually like through uh, whenever like we get a three candles, we do get a two candle retracement, and then price continues further. So this is kind of like the structure, which is like a classical structure. Anyway, guys, so what ended up happening, that price is kind of like broke this structure further, and moving up further, and kind of like gave this kind of weird move of the candle that happened when the Trump was President Trump was talking about tariffs on euro, and we had like a different weird candles developing, and after that prices kind of like reached down there. And what ended up happening, that I kind of like placed my level right here yesterday, so that I can actually analyze that what is actually happening. We did got a good break on the upper side, but it's not of like a good strength. We need to actually remember that prices are unable to form a high until and unless like if the prices could have like broke on the upper structure, then we could have like imagined that it is kind of like bullish. But right now it's on the bearish side. That's why we are getting this kind of reaction. But what's in there for us similarly, we need to actually wait for that, guys. We need to wait for the proper swing. So in any case, like things like that happen, or prices reach to this level, then we can actually act on that. But overall, guys, I'm fine with placing this low right here, because the thing is that we did caught a reaction around this. So let's see, or if we kind of like remove it, if we kind of remove it, it's a bit like let's place it for a while, and then we can just like later on see it at how things go, because this is not a low right here. This is not a peak formation low, guys. I've been like telling you guys that this is a peak formation low, this is a peak formation low, this is a peak formation low. Why I'm saying that, it's not based on the historical data, but rather like you see the pin bars, the liquidity grabs. Like see, this is like a liquidity grab, like it happens here for like few minutes, and like price quickly ran up. So this was also kind of a liquidity grab that happened, and I can like literally predict that people who were in the longs around here would have been like literally messed up their accounts based on this kind of move. So this is kind of a liquidity grab, and after that prices like grab this one. So anyway, guys, let's see, until unless like prices reaches to this level, we can actually expect a move further down there then. So for me, I want to mark this level. It could be the first level that can actually like make a good difference around here. So this is the kind of like structure which we are looking at. Let's look at into 1 hour. That, see, this is the high, this is the order block right here as well. So let's see how the prices kind of like reacts. But still, till now, if we see like in a general observation that prices are still in the downtrend and can go further on the downtrend until like reaches this level, taking out the liquidity around there. So moving further, Euro NZD, similar structure that happened here as well. Instead, like prices couldn't reach to this low, and prices couldn't even like break this highs as well. From this point, this was the high around here, and prices couldn't like reach this level, and kind of like making this range on the downside structure. We are in this strong range right here. So what's there in for us? Then that is like really questionable. I've just placed my low right here, and there has been like certain kind of reactions around here. So let's see if the price kind of like comes back here, then we can actually like see what's in there for us. Right now it's not clear enough. So although we are getting a reaction around this point, but it's not healthy. We need to see more. We need to see more above here, and when the prices will be reaching there, we can actually like see that. EuroCAD gave us a great reaction around this point. This was the high. Prices took the liquidity around this point, failed to make a further high or failed to fill these single prints around here, and started moving on the downside, and then we got a break, and then prices move further on the downside. These are the certain levels which I'm looking. There's an order block right here which we have discussed yesterday on 1 hour. So price has to like reach to this level first in order for us to like kind of like analyze this, like how the things can happen. Like either we can get a reaction around this could be the first target, and then further reaching to this point we can expect another target as well, or if we kind of like breaks out and then we can get a reaction, because the idea is that the that this is a sell structure that has begun, and that is really important for us to like understand that what is the trend that is going into the market. Because I wouldn't say that trend is your friend, but I would just say that I don't believe in that statement that trend is our friend, because usually like these markets give us like a small moves, and I believe that the range is your best friend rather than the trend is not your friend, but range is your friend, because range breakout kind of like makes much more differences. So anyway, guys, Euro JPY, the prices were pushing continuously on the upper side, which we can see that prices went down there, unable to break this low around here, push on the upper side, unable to form a new high. So kind of like gave us a reaction that the things are being shifted on the downside, and then prices went on the downside like that, reaching to this point. Then we got a reaction. This was the trade, guys. This is the trade that actually would have like made much difference. Even like creating this double bottom around here till this point could have like give you like a good profit, and then prices tried to push on the upper side, and then it further failed to break on the upper side, and kind of like gave us a clear reaction around this point. And we still have this order block intact right here. Really important. um, in a sense, let me like explain you guys. So you see right here, this is a structure which we actually see. Price broke down, pulled back, two candle retracement, and then prices went on the downside, forming this low, and then prices pushed back, reaching to this order block. Although this order block kind of like started from this point, so it kind of like reached to this zone around here, and then we saw a reaction. So this is the closing price, and this is the opening price. So this is the amount of the gap that we are looking at in between these candles, and then it's kind of like filled exactly to this level, and then we got a reaction on the downside. And really curious to see that when this reaction happened, this happened around like Tuesday. So And after that, the prices are still in the downtrend, and right now we are looking at this price is kind of like holding this price. So what could be down there further? Although it's really important to keep our eyes open specifically for this order block as well. This can make much difference around here, quite clear. So further down there, we do have certain kind of levels around these points, and further around these points. So kind of like would be like, yeah, focusing on down there until if the price kind of like breaks. And so guys, the idea is really simple, that if the price kind of like breaks on the lower side, we do have to like see that how the prices would be reacting. If the prices come back to this zone, we can expect a move on the downside if the prices fail to break this zone around here. So there's much of patience that is required in this. Similarly, euro chf euro chf has been like in this channel structure right here. Prices went up, kind of like took the all liquidity from back there, and then it further failed and kind of like gave us a move on the downside with the gap. And after that, this gap is kind of like being filled around here exactly to this neckline. So this is the neckline right here in front of you, and prices reached this neckline and went back. So it's kind of like a more on the classical side pattern. This is a neckline right here, and prices kind of like reached here and kind of like giving us a move on the downside. Although I feel like there's enough potential for the price to come back down there. And so this is kind of like a structure which we are looking at in euro chf. Further moving towards the pound uh, pound has given us a good structure, guys. This is a good move, taking out the liquidity around on the top. Like when we were discussing the euro, guys, I kind of like told you like I'm not interested around here, rather I'm interested around here. And this is the formation that pound has given us. And there is a lot of data for the pound that is coming around like in the morning. So we can expect certain kind of changes. So for example, if the interest rates are reduced or not reduced, we would be like looking at the structure around here. So quite solid, good formation. And for that reason, I would be recording this currency pair here on my workbook so that I don't forget it. So pound USD kind of like is at at the structure. It's really important for us to understand that this is the formations which we are looking at. We see right here, this is a low point. This is the low point right here. And you see right here that price is kind of like pushed back. This is a peak formation high that has been formed. Prices couldn't like break this structure with the good momentum, and they instead started reversing around. So let's see that how, if the prices kind of like start failing to push on the upper side, we can get a move. And after getting a move, there would be like this kind of move, and then prices come back into this order block right here, and then we can actually see the move like that. So this is what I actually see or think about the pound right here. It's really good. Instead, I kind of like want even a screenshot for it, because this is what actually could have could happen. And really like a good setup out here for the pound. Much happy about it because of this extension move. Pound Aussie, we see right here, this was the high, and prices kind of like started reacting around this point. Price is kind of like reacting around this point. This was the high up here, and you see like this was a good bullish pump on the upper side. Prices kind of like took the liquidity around for the people who were like shorting around here. So prices kind of like took the liquidity, and after taking the liquidity, stopping all of these people out that were kind of like placing their shorts around here. And you see right here, price formed a bullish move, but still it's kind of like in the work in progress right now. So if we see that prices are unable to form the highs, we can see a reaction on the downside, creating this double bottom. And there's another really important scenario is that this is the high, this is the low, this is the high. So prices has kind of like broken this low, further creating this as a as a this is the low, this is the high. So price is kind of like creating this as a lower low, and this would be the structure. If it goes on the upper side, we can expect as a lower high, sorry, higher low. I think I'm sleepy. Lower high. So then it would be creating a lower low down there. So this is the kind of like structure around this order block. We can expect some kind of move that can actually give us more potential to push the prices on the downside. But still, it seems like in a bullish range. Sorry, bearish range. I kind of like want to mark this right here. It's a good 4 hour structure or order block, and kind of like would have a respect around here. So this is this is the kind of structure which I'm looking at right now. Let's see if we can get a reaction around this point. Although it is kind of like mitigated with this move around here. So on the other hand, if kind of like prices start breaking this further on the downside, so any kind of reaction around like these levels can push the prices further to this point. This is another kind of analysis, but still like we are looking bearish. GBP and ZD. So this is the kind of like a structure which we see around here. We got a good reaction around that, but this is the higher time frame level. This is a higher time frame level, and this is a local level right here. We see that there's a breakout. Prices came back to this point and couldn't form a low. So this could be an indication that we have to see right here that how the prices would be reacting around this point. So it's really important right now to actually wait for this kind of structure. We can get a certain kind of reaction around this point as well. We can get a reaction around this point because although although if we see right here, based on this kind of structure around here, we see it as a bullish trend, but the thing is that prices couldn't form the low right here, so it's kind of like in a formation on the upper side. So in any case, if we start getting reaction around these point or reaction around these point, then and then only then we can expect our price to coming back down there again. GBP CAD, GBP CAD, still it's in a bearish formation right here around this point. You see prices either like go on the upper side and can push on the downside further, because the idea is really simple that this low around here has been like broken out. So there are certain times that it is a fake, because it kind of like grabs the liquidity from the bottom and starts going on the upper side and continue the move like that. But we have to see and wait for the reactions, guys. Like there are three important things you need to remember. Number one is the level, number second is the behavior of the price, and number third is momentum, specifically how the price actually reacts on it, or what's the price specifically that on that level. GJ guys, oh wow, this is my trade that kind of like shows around here. This was the trade today which I took, kind of like gave me a good mood with this trade. So this is a trade I kind of like can explain you guys, but I want to explain it on the higher time frame rather than like going on the lower discussion, because it kind of like was based on the lower time frame. So because GJs are like super vulnerable and they are dangerous to trade, specifically their their momentum is really fast, their ATR is quite fast. So the prices kind of like failed to push on the upper side, came back down, and then failed to push on the upper side. So I just want to like explain you something really important right now. It's like a good example. So guys, whenever like prices fails push on the upper side and fails to push on the upper side and kind of like reverses back, reaching to this around this point, we can't actually understand or take in the sense that is it either a proper reversal or it is a sell structure until and unless like this kind of move happens. And this, if this moves actually fails around this point, so this is what I'm just like talking about, that prices push on the upper side, came back down and then failed at this point. This is a similar point which I'm like discussing with you guys, and then it kind of like started breaking on the downside. And after that, this was an order block right here, and we see a reaction further. So prices kind of like failed to push, instead went on the downside again, came back up, reacting to this order block right here, and then it gave us a move. So it's just, it's more like in a sense that prices came back down there, went back up, formed this kind of like structure, and then kind of like break further, and then prices reaching to this order block kind of like gives us a move. So it's usually like three touches, one touch, two touch, and three touch, and after that the price kind of like move further. So this is kind of like the pattern which I'm like recognizing every time. So you see right here, prices reacted around this order block, and then prices even failed to break on the upper side further. And you see like we had like a good evidences, this is a good evidence, this is a good evidence, this is a great evidence, like this pin bar around here, it would have like, this is a, if you see like this zoomed in reaction around here, let me show you. This is the reaction that, let's make it more difficult for you guys so that we can actually understand. So see right here, if we see this structure, price is creating this pin bar, and this is kind of like a evening star right here, and we can see that this is a break, and most people would have like entered longs around this point in an expectation for the price to go on the upper side, and then this happened, that the price is kind of like reversed back. So this trade was actually like a continuation trade, pull back, and as the price pulled back around this zone based on this neckline, I was ready for that, and I kind of like took this trade and scored the profit out of it. So this is kind of like the scenario that actually happened in here. So I will be removing that. So what's next? That's really important, because what's gone, it's gone. And I want to look deep into the 1 hour right now. So right here we had like this break, prices went down, pushed on the upper side. This is the first order block right here, that prices has to like cross this in order to push on the upper side, and we did got a reaction around here. So reason, for that reason, I wouldn't be like placing much of my energy seeking the points around here, rather than I want to keep it more simple and structural. So let's see that how things would be reacting around there, and then we can actually decide. This is a good point, guys, by the way, based on this neckline and the reaction which we got. around here, and I would be like willing to place my alert around here. So this is a good setup. GBP JPY, I would be looking into that further tomorrow. GBP CHF. So this is the kind of scenario that we are looking at, that this is the structure we have in front. This is structure which we are looking at, and it is quite difficult structure, guys, around here. How the prices kind of like react, it's the same thing, but it's kind of like a new structure that has actually begun around here. We saw this is an order block right here as well. For sure we're gonna get a reaction around this point as well. Let's first mark this, then we can gonna see that, because like the things are like whatever like looks good in the first glance is usually the right thing, because more deeper you get, more complicated it starts getting. So this is a structure right here. The prices kind of like broke out, went up, and after going on the upper side, prices came back down, unable to form this low, and then prices started like going on the upper side like that. Prices kind of like failed to break this level around here, and then we got a reaction, and prices went down. Then prices went back up again. Again, there wasn't any kind of reaction that kind of like pushed the prices on the upper side, and we started moving on the downside. Now, this is a good selling structure based on this idea that we got like this kind of like big move, and any formation or rejection around here can give us a good move like that. So it is also a good structure in that sense. It's not quite clear, but the way with the angle which I'm seeing, it's like really good, because you see that prices kind of like failed to break around this point, give us a good reaction. That's fine. Then there is another leg that has been developing, like you see this range formation around here that has developed, and after that we got this bearish candle around here. So this is the kind of like a structure. So I think if in 1 hour time frame we can like get a hold of, so in 1 hour time frame we can actually see that this is the order block that is not mitigated yet. So any push on the upper side further can give us a move on the downside. I actually am really interested in this order block right here, because it kind of like triggered this move and can be like a useful tool for us for the future. So for example, let's say that tomorrow with their policy rate, that if the prices are pushed on the upper side, then we can even like seek a reaction around here. Really interested in this setup as well. Pounds are forming good setup because of their data that is coming tomorrow. GBP CHF. So Australian dollar right here in front of you. We see that prices kind of like broke the structure, and right now giving a reaction around this point. We are getting a reaction around this point. So now for example, like guys, if the prices are like unable to break this zone around here, in that case prices started coming on the downside, and then we can get a move on the downside like that. But for now we have to actually wait that how the prices kind of react. I'm really curious. It can be a good potential setup as well. really good setup if we kind of like time it properly. This is a kind of like a setup that we are looking at, and let's see how the price kind of react. My alert is up there. I want to bring it down there because I want to see the reaction around this point first. This is a good setup. If it kind of like works and fail to break, I would be I would be willing to take it because because the because if you see a bigger time frame picture, you see that this is nothing that is happening. Whatever happened is happened all around here. This is just like right now work in progress. So we still do have like a selling momentum out here. And the idea is really simple that if the prices kind of like fail to break around here and form this kind of move and further into this order block right here, we can get a reaction and then we can have this move on the downside. Can be a really good potential setup. I want to like take a screenshot of it because it's kind of like can be a good potential setup right here. So AUD and ZD, it's like difficult guys in a sense that this is a channel right here. Price is kind of like broke down. Now holding this level around here, pushing on the upper side, failed to break this point around here, and now coming back to retest it, and can give us a move further if this retest fails. This could be our first target around. First target could be this, and then we can have this move on the downside further. I want to like place my alert above here as well. But this setup has to be decent first. It's not decent. Guys, I did a lot of working today, specifically on this move, this 4-hour candle move. I was really interested in this move, and it happened. Uh, yeah, I want to show you specifically on like 5 minutes time frame. I was kind of like looking into the structure around here for a while, and then there was a breakout that happened. Prices went down there, pushed on the downside like that. Now prices went up, and again we are getting a reaction around this zone. And you see like how the candle started reacting around this zone. So it is still a really good setup because right here you see that this was the low, this was the high, this was the low, this was the high, and after that prices kind of like started breaking and moving on the downside around here, failed to move on the upper side, exact reaction around this order block right here. And what happened that prices kind of like started creating this channel. Prices broke out further. This was our entry right here. It should have been our entry right here to secure this profit around this point. And after that, price kind of like reversed back, failed to break this around here, went into the channel, broke this structure, reaching to this low of this channel right here. So it is like whenever you need to like take a trade, guys, it's really important for us to like actually see that how the structure is actually looking. So overall, like it was working on a smaller time frame. Before entering, you need to remember that whenever you need to enter into the market with the setup on the higher time frame setups which we are discussing right here is just an idea, but whenever we need to take a position we need to like deep dive into the setup in order to like actually pinpoint our entries. So it's kind of like that function work that which I've done. So we can clearly see that prices are unable to push on the higher side and went on the downside. So any kind of like reaction around this point can give us a move on the downside further, and like price can go down there more. AUD JPY, similar structure around here, unable to form the high and prices went down. Give us a small pullback, went down again. Now retesting this level and can go back down there again. By the way, guys, like if you have energy or if your time zone is really valid around here, so you can actually like seek a position in here, because you see this is the range and price is kind of like coming into this range, and can give us a reaction on the downside further. This could be a good potential setup as well. I want to use this if things look fine, or otherwise like let the price go on the upper side and we can get a reaction around there. AUDCHF kind of like started reacting around here, gave us a doji formation, and after that prices are kind of like stopping here, unable to break on the downside further, but right now coming back and again retesting this level. NZD USD guys gave us a good reaction around this point. We would have like preferred the reaction around that point, but start giving us a reaction and prices start going on the downside. Let's see if the prices reach to this point. If the prices come back here again, we can get a reaction around this order block, and then prices can push on the downside. Really a good setup for the future. This is wonderful, guys, that this is the order block right here that has been like developed. I haven't like touched it. So this was the break that happened and prices reached back in there, and this is the first touch which is happening with this kind of move that is happening. And although we couldn't like see this in 4 hour time frame, but on 1 hour time frame we can actually like look at that in 1 hour time frame right here. This is an order block right there, and see how the prices are failing. One push failed, another failed structure, and then prices can like literally go on the downside like that to complete this range around here. In NZD CAD we're getting a better structure or reaction around like NZDs rather than Aussies. NZD JPY, similar structure. Let's wait until the price reaches to this point. This was the range. Prices may reach here and can give us a move on the downside like that. This is the trade which I've taken right now. It's kind of like explained in my video which I've like shared. I can like show you quickly that where this setup is explained. So you see right here we do have like an explanation right here, and the DCHF setup alert initiation session. So this is the trade which I've explained right here. So kind of like I'm gonna go through like a quick preview of this trade. So you see right here the prices are like in an uptrend channel right here. Then we had like this break. This is the structural range. Price kind of like reacted around here, and then this was an order block which kind of pushed on the downside. Further prices are unable to push on the higher side after reaching to this point, and we start getting a reaction around here, this formation. And now I believe that this could be the first target, and this could be the further if we have like the capacity to hold. So this is a quick preview of the trade which I have taken right now. It's still running. I'm planning to keep it like that till my morning. And cat JPY, what's in here? This is like the first time that price is kind of like pushed on the upper side, and after that prices reacted around this order block, or maybe we can say that it happened to react around this order block around here. Prices unable to form highs around here, and prices started like reacting and rejecting around this block and went on the downside. So here we do have an order block right here, and see that how accurate the order blocks are, that we are seeing the reactions. So now the structure has been like shifted on the bearish side right here. So let's see if we can get any kind of reaction around here, and then the prices can further go on the downside. In that case, I want to like mark this high 107328. I want to mark this high so that I can take a sell position further, or if the prices move up and come back to this order block, this would be enough profit. This would be enough profit for us. So let's see how the things actually react around there. CAT CHF. This was the order block right here, which has already been marked, and price is kind of like pushed on the upper side like that, went back again. We start getting a reaction, and prices are still like can push on the downside because the reaction has been like failed and sellers are being induced all around here, and there's a liquidity grab that has also occurred with this wick. So seems like the prices can push on the downside. CAD JPY, this was the reaction that we actually got. So prices went down there, now reacting around here. Still a place to go further down there, but if we start getting a reaction on the upper side like that, prices can act with the order block right here and then can move the prices on the downside. This could be a good potential setup, guys, as well. This the low around here is 174.94. 494. This could be a good potential setup right here. So now it's over. We've discussed all around about everything out here. So I hope, guys, it make enough sense to you guys. And the idea is really simple, guys. Like whatever we discuss, it's really important in a sense that we discuss the structures. And if you are able to specifically understand the structures, you would be like getting the trades more often. So take care, guys. Have fun.